Angelina Simmons then for Spain on the inside. William Marshall on the outside. Lights go green. We are away and racing then for the first race of the day. There is a huge accident on the start-finish straight. There are drivers involved everywhere. The number 45, the number 30 is off the track now. That is Christian Ebras, the 30 as well, who's off the track. That is not gone well at all. That's Marcel Sabella, who is off the track. Luckily, they're all okay. The pinch point, though, at turn 3 has claimed its first victims of the weekend as well. There are more drivers who have got caught out from the rest of the field. There they are on your screen. So many involved. I believe Sunjana Dandu is there. Emily Adriansen is there. Max Murray. Vera Jurland is there as well. Sevilla Paraznaya. Zachariah Dole is there. As well as, I think, Victoria Farfus has got caught up in that one as well, so it's an absolute disaster. But back here at the front, the race is still going away at the front of this one into the final chicane, and it's a new race leader. It's James Anagnostiadis from Australia who leads the way then across the line ahead of William Marshall. Dudkovsky's gone up to 3rd place. Where on earth has Angelina Simmons gone? She's gone down to P5 on this one. That has not been the start she will have wanted. But for Clancy, that is the start he would have wanted. Look at that, 5 places gained for Connor Clancy. Reipold as well, also 5 places gained, is there in P6 and is starting to close in. You can see that battle just behind this one. Anagnostiadis, though, who leads the way ahead of Marshall, looking very strong in this point of the race as they break away from the rest of the field. Dudkovsky then, Clancy, Angelina Simmons still there in that top section from Reipold. Karia Aziza up 2 places here. Make that 3 places now up into P7. Biggest mover, though. I'm going to look further down the field. Egon Prodotti has gained 13 places in this race. Sanjana Dandu has gained 10 places in this race at the moment. So big steps all throughout the field. So many retirements, though, in the first lap of this race. Here, though, the race for the lead here in qualifying Heat 1 for OKN Junior, and it is Anagnostiadis ahead of William Marshall. The gap, 1/10 of a second, as Case Aziza now sets the fastest lap of the race, is starting to somewhat close in. They're in 7th place right now, 3 positions gained. Case Aziza was strong at Cremona at the start of the weekend. But here right now, not getting the initial getaway, but still 3 positions gained. Really started to make the way through the field. Dudkovsky still there in 3rd, ahead of Clancy. Reipold, Simmons in 6th place still from Aziza. Peruzzi in 8th. Islamov, Gale, Saramatsui, the top 11. No change of the top 2 just yet. Back on the start-finish straight, we go on to lap 4 now. Halfway through this race, and again, Marshall was looking there. I think he was taking a slightly tighter line in towards turn 1, assessing the situation here. Where's the best place to get that overtake done? So many drivers here this weekend. It is their first time out on this circuit, and here live on board with James Anagnostiadis. Unfortunately, well, it's a clear track ahead for the camera, but for James, he'll be loving this one. A nice clear circuit to go racing on, but he has. If that camera was facing behind, it would certainly tell a different story. William Marshall right on that rear bumper still as they make their way out of turn 14 onto the back straight now. 135 meters of straight down into the fast sweeping turns 15 and 16. Double apex flat out corner into the final chicane. You can see the drivers there not even touching the curbs there. Brilliant driving. Again, you don't want to hit those curbs too much throughout this weekend. They're very harsh, very demanding on a driver if you do keep hitting those curbs. Here's a look at the race start then. So what happened at the back of the grid? Live picture still on the right-hand side of your screen. You need to look down at the 16th row of the grid. And where did the incident happen? Oh, it already happened. So, yeah, right on that screen, you can see Marshall's very quickly on the scene. 3 drivers off the track at the start of that one. This is how James Anagnostiadis got the lead down the inside at turn 1 on that opening lap. That was a superb move. Took a wheel to the gravel there at the start of that race. Here's another angle of it, down in towards turn 1, and just keep an eye. You can see the carnage happening, unfolding in the background there. But yeah, brilliant start for Anagnostiadis, just straight down the inside. You can say nearly ended his race before it started. There was the carnage at turn 3, the pinch point that we always talk about. It's so many drivers being retired at the end of this one. Still no change between the top two here. Anagnosiadis and William Marshall breaking away from the rest of the field. The gap 1.8 seconds from Dudkovsky, who is there in P3. Simmons back up to P4 now. This is a good recovery for Angelina Simmons. So that qualifying pace now coming back in the race. Gonna make her way through the field here. I think Clancy still fighting back. Reipold still there from Casaziza. A little further down in the order. Egon Prodotti, 17 positions gained, up to 19th place as well. But still Isaac Say in 11th now. So Matsui in 12th place from Shilkanate, as it's getting a little bit interesting here further down in the pack. That's Reipold and Gale battling away. You can see Connor Clancy just ahead here. Down in towards the chicane. Big send down the inside into that final chicane, and through goes Casaziza, gaining another position there. Casaziza up to P5. He's not going to last long though. Clancy's going to fight back down the inside at turn one. Brilliant send there from Connor Clancy. Clancy, it's his first weekend here at Valencia. An experienced driver who has raced at so many circuits around the world, but this one has eluded him so far in his racing career. Right now, Connor Clancy looking very strong here. Casaziza, though, trying to break away with Clancy. They have dropped Reipold just a little bit. Reipold, who is still having a good race here. 4 places gained in P7. Looking very strong. Toby Gale as well, who was very strong at Cremona. Didn't have a good qualifying, but made his way through the field at Cremona. Here, though, at Valencia, a completely different circuit, completely different conditions as well. As we go into the final lap of this race, final lap board goes out. Very different racing lines there. This is the battle for P5 right now as Casaziza sends it back down the inside of Clancy. Here comes Reipold through as well. And nicely done for these three drivers. Controlled racing through the pinch point. Nicely done then. Well, Anagnosiadis still leads the way from Marshall. Simmons Torres still in third place. Dudkovsky, Casaziza, Reipold and Clancy. That was the battle we were just watching here. This is your race leader, James Anagnosiadis from Australia, looking very, very strong here. Our race leader now clear by 0.6 of a second from William Marshall, who has not been able to close in or go for the move. It's going to be clean and dry then for Australia here at Valencia. James Anagnosiadis, first race of the day, and he takes the win. Nicely done for James Anagnosiadis, back on form after a good round in Cremona. James Anagnosiadis currently sitting second in the championship. Good points he gained in both of the qualifying heats rounds. 22 points he scored on the first day, 13 on the second day. He is looking to go for a maximum 25 points here, and he's halfway there at the moment. They have got one more heat coming up later on today for the juniors. But for James Anagnosiadis, a brilliant run. That's exactly what he needs then. William Marshall second from Tavi Dudkovsky. But for Australia, James Anagnosiadis, it is a race win. So many retirements in that race. Big shame. We'll go over the full classifications in just a moment as they make their way back to Parc Ferme. Obviously, clean-up job will get underway. There are carts stricken all over the circuit, and I've got to say, some heavy damage to some of them out there as well. And luckily, they've got a bit of breathing space in between this race and the next one. There you can see the drivers making their way back, but obviously all the checks still have to be made. They have to go back to Parc Ferme. Let's take you through the full classifications at the end of that one. Anagnosiadis from Marshall, Angelina Simmons from Tavio Dudkovsky, Casaziza from Kasper Reipold, Connor Clancy from Toby Gale, Dina Islamov from Linus Peruzzi, Isaac Say from Saramatsui, Vanessa Shilkanate from Ella Hakkinen, Nilas Malik from Emilia Veshemirska in the top 16, Oscar Gallin from Matthias Witwer, Egon Pedrotti from Charles Troxler in 20th place. Then it is Sofia Pavaznaya finishing in 21st from Enna Pizzuto. Sanjana Dandu finishing in 23rd place, 11 positions gained ahead of Corinne Kaur and Axel Nocom, the 25 finishers in this race. The retirements: Flavio Carrier, Katrina E, Michaela Hart, Sujana Dandu, Amaru Adriansen, Max Murray, Vera Jöland, Zachariah Dole, Christian Ebras, Marcel Sabella and Victoria Farfus, unfortunately, all retiring. Let's take you through the highlights on that one. There were quite a few at the start of that race. Initially, great start for the front of the grid. There, though, at the back, that was the first retirement from the race. The live on board here into turn one. This is James Anagnostiadis who won that race, and this was the lead move straight away. No time wasted. Down the inside at turn number one, putting a wheel on the grass there. Going into turn one, a very bold move, but got it done at the start of that race. This was another angle. See how it unfolded. Initially, good getaway for Angelina Simmons, defending from the outside, but not paying attention to the drivers right behind, unfortunately. And Anagnostiadis just getting through, but still a very good race. Then there was the rest of the grid that unfortunately all retired at the end of that one, which, well, lost a fair chunk of the grid. About 11 drivers, 10 drivers out of that race on the opening lap alone. Then we saw this exciting battle for P5, Casey Ziza, Rypold and Connor Clancy. That was happening all the way throughout that one. Nice little overtakes in towards turn one and the final chicane as well. You can see the defensive line going into it compromises you on the exit. Casey Ziza was able to then get through, get the switchback, get the drive out of the corner, but wouldn't get it down into the final lap. There you can see the switchback straight down the inside. That's the momentum that you can get here at Valencia. Really putting a great example there on screen. But for James Anagnostiadis, first race of the weekend, and it's a first win of the weekend as well for the Australian.